Welcome to Rock That Country, multi-CCMA award winner Dean Brody. How are you today, Dean?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Dean, I should start off with, what time is it over there?
It is, I think, 10 o'clock at night, so
10 o'clock.
A couple hours and I'll be in bed. And you guys, I think it's like almost lunchtime there.
Yeah, it's a quarter to 11 actually over here, quarter to 11 in the morning. First up, Dean, congratulations on the release of Dirt. Our listeners have been enjoying the title track along with all the others. So can you tell me a little bit about the song Dirt?
It was a song, we were sitting in Nashville, me and a couple of friends, and we were like kind of stumped as to what we were going to write that day. And Marty had a little book of titles, and he was reading through a couple titles, and he came across this title called Dirt, and he's like, "You guys think we could write about dirt?" And we're like, "Man, I don't know, if we could, it'd sure be country." And so we sat down and wrote this song about how, the fun part of dirt and then the serious part of life, and tried to weave it in and out of those two things, and came up with this song.
Came up with a brilliant song, I might add.
Thank you.
Dean, last year you received CCMA awards for Album, Songwriter and Single of the Year, as well as a 2011 Juno nomination for Country Album of the Year for Trail in Life. And to top it off, you finished out 2011 as the most played Canadian Country Artist of the Year on Canadian radio. That's one hell of a year. How does it feel to now be a recognised bona fide country rock star?
Yeah, it's really awesome. I'm still adjusting to it, though, because like when the nominations come out for the awards, that's when it hits me the most, I think, because a lot of the people that I'm in the categories with, I'm a huge fan of myself, and so I'm the rookie. I'm the new guy, and so it's a little intimidating to be in all these categories with the people I admire and respect so much.
Throw some names at me, Dean.
George Canyon, Terry Clark, Johnny Reed, Gord Bamford. There's just a bunch of great. There's too many to name, but they're all just amazing talents and have been around for. Some of them been around for some years, and so yeah, it's definitely such an honor to be hanging out with them now.
Yes, well, as I said before, it's 2011 is obviously a very, very big year for you, but going by all the good responses that you've had already from this release, and specifically here in Australia, I'd say 2012 is going to be a big year for you also. Yeah,
it's been so far a pretty big year. We really notice it when we're out at shows every summer and every tour, that you can see the fan base progressing and people getting more passionate and more crazy, and security is there's more security presence, and everything just gets bigger and louder, and so we're really enjoying the ride.
That's always a good indication, isn't there, if the security is amped up?
Yeah, some of them, they take their job really seriously, and I think it's probably a good thing. But it can be a lot of fun and be pretty crazy out there.
It can. Dean, the new CD is an absolute beautiful mixture of country rock to country ballads, and one hilarious one there. That's my cousin. You write most of the songs yourself. Do you actually draw on real-life situations for the inspiration for these songs?
Yeah, I definitely do. And sometimes if it's not personal, if it's not immediate, I'll know somebody who's dealt with this or has gone through that, or our community has seen this happen, and so I find my own life it's interesting, but I'm fascinated also by other people, by characters in my community, and sometimes it's a lot of fun and a challenge to try and write their story and tell their story also.
So tell me about the story of That's Your Cousin.
Yeah. Well, luckily this is not first-hand experience, but a lot of my friends, like from the South in the U.S. and then from Canada, my songwriting friends, we'd always joke about how in our little towns you'd have to be careful who you dated, because the family trees, the roots get a little tangled up sometimes. So I wrote this song just, to make fun of, I guess, myself and our communities, smaller towns, and it turned out people just seem to really love it. And I'm always scared, though, that I'm going to offend somebody, especially when we pull into a small town. Me and the boys, we pull into a small town, and we're like, all right, so are we going to do That's Your Cousin tonight, or
yeah,
are we going to set loose?
You have a bit of a look around first, do you, Dean, and suss it out?
Yeah. Who wants to fight tonight? Yeah.
This is your third full-length album. So what is actually... Do you have a personal favourite of your songs, Dean?
Oh, man. I think The Porch from Trail on Life was definitely one of my favorite songs. Underneath the Apple Trees off this new record, Off Dirt, is probably one of my favorite songs.
It's also one of mine, too.
Yeah. Nor USA, maybe. It's hard. It's tough to choose your favorite.
Dean, you came to Australia last year too and performed at the CMC Rocks The Hunter. Did you only see The Hunter, or did you get to see some of our beautiful country Australia?
We got to see a lot of the coast, which was beautiful. I mean, the beaches and the coastline was breathtaking. We only spent like 4 or 5 days, so it was a real rush. But the people and the places we saw were just, it was amazing. And so we're definitely looking forward to coming back, hopefully next year.
I was going to ask you that. So you are coming back next year that'll be to officially release, I guess, the CD in this country?
Yeah, I think the CD's out in Australia now, but
it is.
It'll be our yeah. So we'll come by to support it and to hang out with the fans. I mean, last time we went, we only had a song I think out for 2 weeks, and we ended up signing for about 2 hours. So I can't wait to go back and to reconnect with the fans in Australia and see more of your country.
We do have a beautiful country, and we're known for our beaches and our beautiful country areas as well, out back in the west. There are a million of aspiring singer-songwriters out there, all struggling to make it. As somebody who has officially made it, Dean, what advice would you give to youngsters, or anybody for that matter, who's got their heart set on a career in music?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things, especially these days, is if you can write your own stuff. And it's really hard to do, but if you can learn how to write a song and learn how to present that song yourself as an entertainer, I think it means a lot to the fans. It means a lot to people if you can tell your story and it's coming from somewhere inside you. And I also think that record labels and stuff these days really look at that. They look at somebody who can sing but also can write songs, and they're involved and they're invested in what they're singing about. So I'd say that's probably the biggest thing.
It is very, very important, isn't it, to be recognised for making your own contribution rather than, singing other people's songs and doing covers and perhaps riding on the success of someone else. And I appreciate that in a singer-songwriter, and that's why I appreciate your CDs, because you do, when you sing them and when you listen to the CD, you make us believe that, you are living each song. Or like you said, if you're not living it, then you've seen someone else live it, and that's what makes your CD so very authentic.
Thank you.
No worries.
It's hard to do because as a writer, when you do that, it means you're opening yourself up to more. You're more vulnerable, right? Because you're giving a part of yourself out there. So it can be a little more tricky than if you take someone else's song and you sing it. It's definitely more vulnerable to sing your own stuff. So that's what makes it more difficult. But I think it's worth it.
But I think that's what country music is about, isn't it, really? Like, is being able to tell a story and telling the story believable and well. Dean, you've travelled around a bit, so what are some of the best gigs that you've ever done?
Oh, man. Australia was definitely an experience. It was a 33-hour flight home. It's just, I don't think I can get any farther away from where I live on this earth than Australia, so that's definitely an experience. But that was one. In Puerto Rico, we shot a video in Puerto Rico in a slum that was notorious for shootings and drug violence, and so that was exciting
and very scary.
A little bit, yeah. We were approached by an individual who seemed kind of dark. And he definitely seemed like he'd lived a life, and we were using his bench for a dolly for the video camera. And he said, "You need to put that back right now."
And so you put it straight back?
No problem. That's right. We'll put it right back, and we'll dust it off, too. So, yeah, I mean, I love traveling, and we're going to France in I think a couple weeks we're going to play out there at a festival. So yeah, it's stuff I never thought I'd do when I was a kid, and being able to travel and the doors that music has opened for me and for our band is so much fun.
And I couldn't imagine a better way of living your life. Dean, I heard you recently speaking about your love of antiques. So did you find anything interesting here in Australia? Did you do any shopping for antique?
I didn't get a chance. I was looking for a surfboard, which isn't really antique-y, but...
and you couldn't find one here?
Oh, no, I saw surfboards, yeah. I was trying to figure out how to get them home. I got a surfboard in Puerto Rico, and it never did get here. I left it with the hotel concierge, and it never got here, so I'm a little leery about buying surfboards.
Yeah, so are you a surfer?
But I'm not, no. I live by the ocean, so I want to try it, but you got to be kind of tough to be a surfer in Canada because it's so cold here. The waters are they're frigid. But I do love antiques. I wonder where you heard about that.
I research. I thought that was just a nice left-of-field question to ask you, that was all.
Yeah, antiques for me, they spark my imagination. And so, like, our house is full of stuff that's just from years ago. And to be around that kind of environment, I think, helps inspire me to write songs, and it helps my imagination to come alive.
Oh, that's fantastic. Our final question is, and I always ask my guests this, Dean, what is the last CD that you bought or the last song that you've listened to?
Wow, that's a good question. It's actually probably a children's record about a whale. My daughter loves this guy. He sings about a beluga whale in the sea. And so, my mind is full of children's songs.
But do you take your family on tour with you, Dean?
No, I wish I could, but the schedule is so tight and so frantic that it wouldn't be very conducive or good for them. But I sure love spending time at home. Yeah,
no, that's great. Dean Brody, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you today, and I wish you continued success with the new CD, and we look forward to once again seeing you in Australia, hopefully for the release of the brand new CD, Dirt.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm definitely looking forward to visiting you guys again. Great, I appreciate you guys doing up the program and featuring this stuff. That's awesome. Okay.
Thanks,
See you
Dean.
later, Kylie.
Bye.
Bye.